Hey guys, tonight we will drift back in time to the warm, whispering shores of the medieval Swahili coast, where the Indian Ocean breeze carried not just salt spray, but the scent of spices, the rustle of silk, and the distant calls of bustling markets. You stand on the shore, the soft, pale sand between your toes, watching dhows with their distinctive triangular sails glide effortlessly towards a harbor carved from coral. The air is thick with the promise of trade, a vibrant symphony of languages you almost understand. Imagine stepping off your own little boat, a dugout canoe, perhaps onto a coast so alive with commerce it makes today's online shopping feel like a snail's pace. Of course, you probably wouldn't survive this, what with the malaria and the lack of decent coffee, but let's just pretend for a bit. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And let me know in the comments where you're winding down tonight and what time it is for you. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's relax and begin tonight's journey together. You feel the warm sun as you trudge inland from the beach. Into the Swahili coast, a string of city-states, the beating heart of East African maritime trade. Early settlements, simple mud and thatch, showed first glimmers of sophisticated town planning. It's a common historical fact that these communities often started as small fishing villages before evolving into trade hubs. A quirky detail, some of the earliest Swahili settlements were also built for collecting valuable mangrove timber traded across the ocean. Imagine logging without a chainsaw. Historians still debate whether these earliest settlers were purely African Bantu speakers or if a significant influx of Arab and Persian migrants arrived from the start. The air tastes of salt and something exotic. As you wander through these nascent towns, you observe a fascinating cultural alchemy. This dynamic blend, where African traditions met and merged with influences from Arabia, Persia, and even India, formed a new identity. You see this fusion in faces, textiles, and the burgeoning Swahili language, a beautiful blend of Bantu grammar with Arabic loanwords. A common historical fact is that the Swahili language itself is a testament to this deep cross-cultural exchange. A quirky piece of information is that earliest forms of Swahili poetry often used Arabic script, despite the language being fundamentally African. Talk about having a flair for the dramatic! Historians still debate the exact timing and nature of Arab and Persian immigration. The scent of cooking spices, cardamom, and cloves now mingles with the salty air. Your journey continues, and soon you find yourself arriving in Kilwa Kisiwani, a city that by the 13th century became the jewel in the crown of the Swahili coast. You gaze up at the imposing coral stone walls, the intricate carvings on the doors, and the multi-story palace of Husuni Kubwa, complete with an octagonal swimming pool. A common historical fact that Kilwa rose to prominence largely due to its control of the gold trade from Great Zimbabwe, making it immensely wealthy. A quirky detail, the sultans of Kilwa minted their own copper and silver coins. Imagine paying for your lunch with a miniature historical artifact. Historians still debate the precise mechanisms of this gold trade. You feel the palpable buzz of prosperity. Life in Kilwa, and indeed in many Swahili city-states, settles into a comfortable rhythm around you. You walk through narrow, winding streets, shaded by towering stone houses. You observe the daily routines, women in brightly colored wraps, men in long tunics. A common historical fact is that the Swahili diet was rich in fish, rice, and coconuts. A quirky detail you notice is the elaborate system of water collection and storage, with sophisticated wells and cisterns carved directly into the coral bedrock. Talk about sustainable living before it was cool! Historians still debate the extent of social stratification within these cities. You might even spot a craftsman meticulously carving intricate patterns. The scent of fresh bread baking makes your stomach rumble just a little. From the bustling docks, you watch the grand dhows, those magnificent wooden ships being loaded and unloaded, their lateen sails catching the wind. This is the heart of the Indian Ocean trade network. A common historical fact is that Swahili merchants traded gold, ivory, rhinoceros horn, tortoise shells, and slaves for goods like ceramics from China, textiles from India, and glassware from the Persian Gulf. You might even spot a rather fancy Chinese porcelain bowl. A quirky detail you learn is that mariners navigated these routes using surprisingly simple tools, the stars, the monsoons, and intimate knowledge of the currents. Imagine setting sail for India, relying mainly on a gut feeling. Historians still debate the exact impact of the monsoon winds on the timing and regularity of these trade voyages. The sheer volume of goods is astounding. Beyond Kilwa, you journey to other vibrant city-states, each with its own unique flavor and specialty. You visit Pate, known for its skilled artisans and robust textile industry. Then on to Zanzibar, already gaining a reputation for its cloves and the beginnings of a more somber trade. It's a common historical fact that cities like Mombasa and Sofala also played crucial roles, serving as crucial links in the wider trade network. A quirky piece of information is that many of these cities, especially Pate, were famous for their elaborate wooden doors, intricately carved. You'd never find a plain IKEA door here, oh no. Historians still debate the true level of cooperation versus competition among these various city-states. You feel the pulse of distinct communities. The gentle rhythm of trade begins to shift. It's the late 15th and early 16th centuries, and new players are sailing into the Indian Ocean, the Portuguese. A common historical fact is that the arrival of Vasco da Gama in 1498 marked a turning point, ushering in an era of European naval power. They don't come to trade as equals, they come to conquer and control. A quirky observation you make is how surprised the Portuguese seem by the sophistication and wealth of the Swahili cities. Imagine coming all that way just to have your preconceptions shattered. Historians still debate the extent to which Portuguese intervention times the decline of the Swahili city-states versus merely times accelerating a decline already in motion. You see fortified churches and garrisons appear, signaling a new, more aggressive era. Though the golden age of the independent Swahili city-states eventually wanes under various pressures, their legacy endures, echoing softly through time. You see remnants of their grand architecture, ghostly coral ruins. It's a common historical fact that despite foreign domination, the Swahili language and culture persisted, demonstrating incredible resilience. That blend of African, Arab, and Indian influences continues to define the region. A quirky detail you notice is how some traditional Swahili sailing practices and dhow construction techniques are still used today. It's a testament to good design, I suppose, if it's still sailing centuries later. Historians still debate the exact cultural continuity of Swahili identity. You hear the soft murmur of modern Swahili spoken, knowing it carries the echoes of a vibrant past. As the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in soft hues of lavender and rose, the vibrant sounds of the medieval Swahili coast gently recede. The scent of spices fades, the creaking of the dhows becomes a whisper, and the bustling markets quiet down to a gentle hum. You feel the weight of centuries settling around you, not as a burden, but as a comforting blanket of forgotten stories. This ancient world, so full of life, trade, and intricate beauty, slowly drifts away into the realm of memory, leaving behind a tranquil sense of wonder. Let the images of coral palaces and star-guided ships gently lull you into a peaceful slumber, knowing that even in the quietest corners of history, there was immense brilliance and a quiet strength. Sweet dreams.